Well, that's the youngest mouth I've ever seen let rip a string of racist epithets, followed almost immediately by the second youngest mouth I've ever seen let rip a string of racist epithets.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, they didn't make kids cute back in the 1970s. Welcome to Does This Still Work? The podcast looks at oldies and asks, does this still work? I'm Joe Dixon.
And I'm George Romacka. And today we're discussing Bad News Bears from 1976 and some historical context. This is a Patron's Choice episode. This was voted on by our patrons from a slate of 3 sports-themed movies, and Bad News Bears is what won. Before we get into the movie and other stuff, we're going to talk about podcasty stuff, and we're going to start with this. We're excited to announce that we've joined the Creator Accountability Network. CAN is a nonprofit dedicated to reducing harassment and abuse through ethical education and a system of restorative accountability. We joined because we care about the safety and well-being of our community members. If you feel our behavior or content has harmed someone, please report it to CAN, either via the reporting form on their website, creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org, or via their hotline at 617-249-4255. They'll help us make it right and avoid repeating that mistake in the future. CAN also needs volunteers from our communities to help with their work, so if you have skills you think would be helpful, or time and a desire to help, please visit their website to find out how you can volunteer. Most importantly, get the word out to other creators who you think would be interested in getting credentialed. Help us build safer communities together. You can reach us at dtswpod@gmail.com, on Facebook, Letterboxd, and on our YouTube channel. Joe is on Blue Sky at joedixon.bsky.social. Please tell your friends about us, even the ones that sell maps to tourists by the side of the road, and leave 5-star ratings everywhere. You can pick what we watch and get extra per episode content by funding us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/dtswpod.
You know, something occurs to me as we're doing this. There really were no cute kids back in the 70s. Of the movies we've watched, none of the kids were particularly cute.
Nope.
Even when they were normal children, like in Killer of Sheep, they were normal kids, but they weren't particularly cute. They were just kids. I guess it wasn't until really the 80s and Gary Coleman type stuff that we made the kids all so cute, and basically 40-year-old screenwriters. Everyone has a one-liner, but they sure didn't in the 70s. They were either normal children or particularly foul-mouthed children. Which could also be accurate, actually.
Yeah. That's people writing what they know.
Yes. Okay, George, take us back to 1976.
Alrighty.
And that's the way it was.
Listeners, you may know that Joe and I approach our post-show responsibilities differently. I pull questions from question-based subreddits, and Joe pulls advice columns from the year the movie came out. For this history segment, I'm going to go one step below both of those, and we're going to talk about a mild spat in the editorial pages of the Dunsmuir News of Dunsmuir, California, centered around Little League in 1976.
Before we go any further, what is Dunsmuir, California? I've never even heard of this place.
That sounds Irish.
Yes, I never heard of it. California's huge.
Yep. Joe, give us the title of this first pitch from the June 6th, 1976 edition of the Dunsmuir News.
It stinks!
And I'm just going to read this shit. Dear editor, rather than going to the coaches and blowing my cool, I'll try airing my opinion in the paper first and see if it sinks in. I'm not the only mother that is irritated with the Little League. I think it is also slightly ridiculous for parents to put out darn near $40, in my case, to put their sons in the Little League to, quote, warm the benches. I understand that the boys are all supposed to play at least 2 innings a game. One of my boys on my youngest son's team didn't get to play at all the last game. My boy got put in the game for just 1 inning, at least twice that I know of. The excuse may be he's not as good as the other boys. How can he even learn if not given the mere chance to play? Not to mention the supposed best players get all the choice positions on the team. Why don't they rotate the boys so they all get a chance to play, learn, and experience each position? It appears the coaches have only one thing in mind: to win games, not to teach the boys the game. As usual, the influential parents' children get more recognition than the peons. Does there have to be prejudice and politics in Little League too? It's pretty sad when boys are excited and proud to be playing in the Little League and have to sit there and watch other team members play the whole game, and maybe if they are lucky or their team is way ahead, they will get put in. The only positions my boys have gotten to play is outfield. Whoopee! Big deal!
Isn't that the big deal? I don't know. It seems like an important position to me.
Give them and all the boys the chance to play and learn. Who knows? One of the bench warmers could, given the chance, be a potential Major League Baseball player. You always have to start from the beginning, Little League, but how can you start if not even given the chance to show what you can do or maybe can't do? Think, coaches, I think it's about time you evaluate the situation. It stinks. Signed, one concerned mother, Julie Higgins, of Dunsmuir.
Okay. I never played Little League as a child. My understanding, though, is that the kids tend to get along with the parents who are real a-holes, just really competitive jerks. As to this woman's complaint, I guess other kids should get to play, which is something that comes up in our movie. But beyond that, I don't know if her complaints are valid. Did you ever play Little League?
I have this vague memory of starting Little League and then not finishing. And I don't know why that was. I don't know if it was me being like, no, I don't want to fucking do this. I suck at sports. Don't make me do this. Or some other thing. Because I started playing drums in 4th grade and kept doing that. So it's not like I couldn't keep doing things.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, my only observation would be that the parents tend to be the worst. And that's what I always read and I hear. This is always the parents are the worst thing about Little League, not the kids.
Oh, yeah. So 10 days later, the Dunsmuir News published 3 replies to that letter. 2 pushing back and 1 in solidarity. We'll check out one of each of those positions. Joe, give us the title for this disagreeer.
Defend Little League.
Dear Editor, in regard to the letter from Julie Higgins about Little League, I have some things I would like to say. Just fucking say. What is anybody? I have some things I would like. Fucking say. Don't. And whatever. I played Little League for 4 years and sat on the bench for 3 of those years. I also happened to be the coach's son at the time. I worked hard for the position I finally got to play, even though it took me 3 years to get there. I think I was more proud that I had earned my position than had it been handed to me, and not had to run to my mother and cry. I now play Babe Ruth baseball as a catcher and a outfielder.
He plays Babe Ruth baseball?
I guess that's a league, but I'm miffed at as a catcher and a outfielder. Like the convention of using a before a consonant and an before a vowel existed long before the 1970s.
I would just want to know if this kid gets drunk and visits a lot of prostitutes.
This isn't the kid.
Oh, that's right. He's an adult now.
Yeah.
But he's Babe Ruth baseball, so I know what Babe Ruth was up to.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was doing similar things.
But I now play Babe Ruth baseball as a catcher and a, seen in context, outfielder, and I am very proud that I made it by myself with no help from my mother or dad. I would say to your sons, you've got to grow up sometime and you don't always get what you want without a lot of hard work and practice. Be proud that you are even part of the team. Proud to be a part of the team, Mike Beck, Dunsmuir.
Okay.
Now, I missed something I wanted to respond to in the initial letter.
Mm-hmm.
How are they supposed to learn if they don't get to play during the games?
Watching, I guess?
Practice!
Oh, yeah.
That's when you learn.
That's a good point, yes.
And finally, Joe, give us the utterly unimaginative title for this enthusiastic agreeer.
I'm sorry, none of the titles were imaginative. What are you talking about? Anyway, take the other side.
right? Dear editor, here. Gotta love a letter that starts with here.
Which we can't hear.
Read. Here for Julie Higgins' stand on Little League in your June 9 edition. I watched the enthusiasm of my two brothers fade and their confidence in their ability take a nosedive as a result of the negativism of Little League. A neighbor of mine was a coach on his son's team. When Sonny made an error or didn't perform as well as his father thought he should, the father wouldn't speak to him for 1 or 2 days.
Oh my God.
To your point about the parents being the fucking worst.
Jesus.
I wouldn't allow a child of mine to belong to Little League the way it now stands. I do have a child of eligible age. I think the Little League organization should take a good look at its purpose. The influence of overambitious coaches and parents has been allowed to pollute the whole organization. The pressure cooker atmosphere is unhealthy and needless. The time to groom professional athletes is not at Little League age. Signed, Jim and Kelly Blankenship.
I wish they hadn't used the word groom. Different contexts these days. Anyway, I guess I disagree with them. I mean, obviously this story of the father is horrendous and Little League is a mess, but if your kids, your point is valid. Like, then your kids need to practice if they want to go further on the team.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, I would think. I don't know. I never played sports. I don't care for sports. I would love it if someday we have people running for office and they go like, I don't care who wins the whatever game's going on because I don't follow sports. So whatever. I hope our local team wins because I know it makes people happy. But other than that,
I will be...
Go ahead.
I will be busy trying to lower your healthcare costs, average American, while you watch football on the couch and drink excessive calories worth of beer while you cheer on people doing physical exercise that you yourself are incapable of.
Although think you could.
And think you could do better.
Yes.
By many of your drunken outbursts.
I probably wouldn't add all that if I want to get elected, but it would be nice something like, I don't follow sports. Don't ask me a sports question. So unfortunately, those days aren't there. But someday they may be.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised at how much of these letters made it into this movie. There's quite a bit. Like, the cultural context for this movie seems dead the fuck on for the time.
Research.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Talking about that movie, let's talk about that movie.
Let's discuss Bad News Bears. Okay, so this is directed by Michael Ritchie.
No relation to Guy Ritchie, and I looked.
Yes, I could have told you that. No relation to Guy Ritchie. The only work of his we've seen for the podcast was The Candidate. A very, very different movie.
Very.
And it was written by Bill Lancaster. And here are the blurbs. IMDb says, an aging, down on his luck ex-minor leaguer coaches a team of misfits in an ultra-competitive California Little League.
I don't think he was down on his luck. He was making a decent living cleaning pools.
That would be considered down on your luck. If you're going from being would-be baseball player to cleaning pools, that's down. Okay, YouTube says, or someone for YouTube says, A Major Surprise is one of 1976's top-grossing films. The Bad News Bears is a movie about children that is refreshing, utterly believable, and quite cleverly funny.
Okay.
Yes?
Strings of racial epithets are not clever.
Okay, snowflake. Walter Matthau is at his absolute best as the grumbling, beer-guzzling former minor league pitcher who gets roped into coaching a band of half-pint misfits, somewhat loosely called a team. With this bunch in uniform, it's impossible to get caught up in the suburban competitive spirit that drives other adults to extremes of parental discipline. So instead, the Bears have a good time.
He doesn't really get roped in. He gets hired.
But then he eventually starts to care, I guess. So maybe that's what they mean by roped in. All right, so let's get into the characters. Buttermaker is played by Walter Matthau. Both of us have seen his work in JFK and Grumpy Old Men, something George and I are going to be one day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting there.
My oldest child turned 24 today.
Ah. But you had your kids really early, so you're not that old yet. I've seen Mr. Matthau's work in, get ready folks, this is going to be a long one, The Odd Couple, The Fortune Cookie, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, Grumpier Old Men, California Suite, The Sunshine Boys, The Front Page, Earthquake, Charlie Varick, Cactus Flower, A Guide for the Married Man, and Charade. And
I've seen him in Dennis the Menace.
Jesus Christ. It's so funny when that happened. I'm like, Walter Matthau, I think everyone knows Walter. I'm such an oldie. Walter Matthau was practically part of my entire was the part of my entire childhood. He died when I was an adult.
I was kind of surprised that we haven't seen anything from him for the podcast.
That is amazing. We have avoided him for some reason.
Well, because he's a grumpy old man, Joe.
He's a grumpy old man, yes. But I really like Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, so I'm surprised I didn't put that on the list. Oh, I did want to say real quick, A Guide for the Married Man, definitely something that dated not well. It's basically about a man who wants to try and not cheat on his wife, and so he has to go up, by the end of the film, just so he will avoid being an adulterer, he has to go up the fire escape to avoid meeting women on the elevator, and he has to...
So it's Mike Pence.
Yes, it's a Mike Pence type character. It's just ludicrous that lovelies go to some other than just like treat women like human beings and like don't cheat on your wife. It's not that difficult. Oh, that was a really bad film. But when I saw it as a kid, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is bizarre. Anyway, the other characters in this thing is Amanda Wurlitzer, and she's played by Tatum O'Neal, and I've seen her work in This Is 40.
And Amanda is the daughter or granddaughter? Like
daughter of Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah. Daughter of Buttermaker's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Tatum O'Neal. Yes, the character is the daughter of the ex-girlfriend of Buttermaker. I want to say quickly about Tatum O'Neal. She is still the youngest person to ever win an Oscar. I believe that's still correct. And she worked for Paper Moon, a picture we should probably watch. Anyway, continuing the credits, Roy Turner. That's our next character, and he's played by Vic Morrow. And I've seen his work in Blackboard Jungle and Twilight Zone the movie. Ooh. Do you know the story behind the Twilight Zone the movie?
I'm guessing somebody died or something terrible.
Someone died. Mr. Morrow died on that picture. He was doing a scene, and they poorly set up the stunt coordination. And so he was supposed to rescue these two children from this helicopter, and the helicopter blade winds up cutting his heads off and the heads of the children. Yeah, it was a big story at the time, needless to say. And the director, I personally think, should have gone to jail for that, but he said, no, I didn't know any better.
That is some Final Destination shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Roy Turner is the coach of the Yankees Little League California team, who also owns the field that they're playing on, I think.
He acts like he owns it if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's who he's the competition. The main competition we see throughout the film. There are other teams they play against, but he's the main one we see. Our next character is Kelly Leak, and he's played by James Earl Haley. And I've seen his work in Watchmen and Lincoln.
And I've seen him in RoboCop. And Kelly Leak is a little fucking shit that smokes and rides his shit motorcycle all over the field and ruins the grass before it turns out, oh no, he's actually a hotshot athlete, so to recruit him to the team.
Yeah.
And then he learns teamwork after he learns how to steal all the glory because the coach tells him to. It's a lot of shit.
To be fair, the coach told him to. He wasn't doing it. He wasn't being a glory hog. Anyway, we'll get into that. Next up, and finally, is Tanner Boyle. And he's played by Chris Barnes. Do you know why I included Tanner, George?
I think you included Tanner because he's the first little foul-mouthed shit to let loose a string of racial epithets.
All throughout the movie, he's the most loudest. He's also the shortest and smallest. He wants to start a fight with everybody, and he's also the most foul-mouthed.
Yeah, he's got Chihuahua syndrome.
Yes, I suppose that's the way to put it. Okay, let's get into the plot of this thing. If you haven't seen it, or even if you have, here's how it goes. All right, Bad News Bears sets the tone pretty quick as Coach Buttermaker comes on screen smoking a cigar and making a Boilermaker in his car. A Boilermaker, for you non-drinkers out there, is when you mix a beer with a shot or two of whiskey. A father has hired him to teach a Little League baseball team. The father says it's a shame parents can't find time to coach the kids, and then proceeds to pay Buttermaker to do the thing he thinks it's shameful parents won't do themselves. So great guy. But at least we see him. The remaining parents exist like they do in Peanuts cartoons. Like, well, even less than that.
Yeah, we don't even get the wah 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 from off screen.
Which, if you know enough parents, you will actually hear that.
Yeah.
It all sounds the same. Wah, 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 wah. Anyway, because in Peanuts you at least hear them.
Oh, so I didn't even know that you were about to say that.
Unless you count the inn. You don't see who is raising these kids at all.
Who, if anybody, is raising these kids at all?
Speaking of the kids, Buttermaker is not good with children, to put it mildly. But between his job cleaning pools, does coach the team of ragtag little ones. The team consists of, well, one character, Tanner, describes who is on his team. George, do you want to characterize his fellow teammates?
Well, there's 2 young Hispanic children. There's a black child. There are children of various body types and optical disability levels. One of them is eventually a female.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe them.
Yes, but those weren't the words he
Those
used.
aren't, nope, they sure the hell weren't. No, and then they were not the words that the guy following up said. Yes, they may be all of these racial epithets, but they're our team, so suck it up.
He also says there's more of us than there are of you, so watch your mouth.
Yeah, like he...
Anyway, this young child knows all the slurs.
All of them.
Which begs the question, who is raising him? Well, we never find out.
The Slur Factory, Joe.
At least not in this movie, you don't find out. Maybe the other movies we do. There were like 3 or 4 sequels to this picture, none of which were as good as this one, so I never saw them. However, one person who we do find out about her parents is Amanda. Buttermaker used to date her mom. He evidently also taught her how to play baseball. Amanda, that is. To which she excels at. Which is why Buttermaker wants to recruit her because the Bears suck.
Uh-huh.
She is reluctant at first, but she does join the team, as does Kelly Leak, a juvenile delinquent who hangs around the ballpark pretending he doesn't care, when in fact, he clearly wants to be asked.
Uh-huh.
In any case, Buttermaker is an asshole to everyone. Then he sees Roy Turner, the film's main bad guy, be a more competitive asshole version of himself and decides, fuck it, let the kids have fun. This results in the Bears losing the final game of the season, but making it to the pennant, or whatever they call it. I don't remember. The opposing team apologizes even though they still think the Bears suck. Tanner tells them they can fuck off with their apology. Somebody throws the Bears' second place statue at them. This causes adults to run on the field and toss these kids up in the air as if they won. Also, I shouldn't forget, Buttermaker gives all these 11 and 12-year-olds beer for playing a good game. The end. George, what did I miss?
Not much, Joe. You didn't miss much at all. That is an accurate summary of this movie.
All right, so George, let's get into the questions then. The first one I have for you is, do you remember the first time you ever cursed, and what was the word you used?
I don't. I'm guessing it was the fucking F word. Because I use it all the time now anyway. But I feel like it had to have been that. Because I wouldn't have gone, it's not like my parents and my family didn't curse around me all the time. Like every swear word I learned from them. And everything that I don't say anymore, I learned from them too.
Well, as a good Christian boy, I of course learned all my swear words in the street. So yeah, my mother and my grandma did not curse at all in the house. I think the first word I probably swear would ever use is mild by today's standards is goddamn. And I say that precisely because I would have been terrified to say that because, I'm damning God, goddamn. I believed all that garbage. So, God's last name is not damn. So I was like, that was some of my favorite phrases from the 70s. God's last name is not damn. My ears are not garbage cans. I don't know if you ever heard that one.
Do you talk to your mother with that mouth?
That's still here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear the garbage can one or the goddamn one.
You eat with that mouth?
Kiss you over the mouth, yes. That's still around. Anyway, next question. All right, so Buttermilk and...
Buttermaker.
Sorry. Buttermaker and Roy Turner, seemingly opposites, and yet their coaching styles, while not exactly the same, are both kind of abusive. Let's be clear here. Why do you think Buttermaker suddenly look at this guy and go like, okay, I don't want to be him?
Because the script says so.
You don't think it's a genuine change of heart?
No, there was nothing genuine about that. And like in the last game, like Roy is such an asshole to his son, the pitcher for the Yankees, that his son tries to throw the game and basically tells his father to eat a bag of fetid dicks.
Yeah, he catches the ball and he just holds it, and everyone's like, throw it, and they see he's not going to throw it, and they come right over to him, but they can't get the ball out of his hand, and then finally, the Bears win that run, or whatever the hell it's called, and he walks over to his father, takes the ball, drops it on the ground in front of him, and then walks off the field, presumably with his mother. There's some woman who says to...
who is drafting divorce documents by the look on her face.
I'm not a parent, but it would break my heart if my kid did that to me. I don't know. I feel really bad. I don't know if I could go on with the game. I'm like, oh, I fucked up. I got to make it up to this kid because he hates me right now.
Yeah, that's because you are a good, decent human being who is not written by a sociopath.
Oh, man. Okay, so what do you think of the language in this film that the children use? Obviously, you don't approve it. Neither one of us would, but does it seem realistic? Do children really talk like this? I say yes.
Do they? Yes. Should they be shown to be doing that on screen? No.
Well, you got a disagreement there, because I think it's an accurate depiction of children, and unfortunately. Now, the issue is, of course, why no one stops them. There's no parental supervision. That's the problem. But
like the only pushback on it is somebody using those words and saying, but all of these words could kick your ass because there's more of us.
Yes. And I guess Amanda sort of pushes back when she goes like, hey, just go do your, when he says, oh, now, blah, 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 all the racial slurs. And now a girl? And she goes, just go to your field or whatever she tells him to do, and she knows that she can pitch. Speaking of Amanda, why do you suppose she stays on the team? Because, all right, let me set this up. Initially he's like, oh, come join the team, and she says no, because, she had a relationship with him through her mother, and he suddenly just abandoned the mother, didn't date her anymore and didn't talk to her anymore, so she's like, screw this guy. But he comes back, and she clearly wants a father figure. There's no other way to put it. She clearly wants this man to be her dad, and he only wants her so he can win this game, and beyond that. And at one point, she even goes like, hey, maybe after the game, after we win the pennant or whatever the hell it's called, the baseball World Series of minor leagues, I don't know, Little League. After we win this, maybe we can hang out some more, and we can go out to some movies and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, and he throws, I think, a beer at her, right? Or he throws some drink at her and goes like, I don't want to do that. If I wanted to talk to you, I would have talked to you 2 years ago. And he's like, really? At that point, I can't understand why this girl did not pick herself up and go like, goodbye forever and just leave.
Yeah, no, again, script says so. Because they had to get to the World Series or whatever the fuck they were doing. And they weren't going to do it with the other pitcher.
Yeah, but it was such a harsh scene, and yet it's never really resolved. He never Listen, I should have done that. I'm so sorry. I was too drunk or so, just nothing.
He's too much of a grumpy old man to apologize. Yeah.
But again, in return to why she puts up with it. And where is her mother? She talks about that. She's the only character who generally seems to have a parent.
The team invades this girl's ballet class.
That's right. There's a scene where they invade the ballet class. That's right, yeah.
And there is no consequences for that happening.
Do you remember how Kelly Leaf, that's his name, right? What he says to one of the women.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but this child was hitting on this adult very crudely.
Very crudely. She's looking at him like, oh, you've got to be kidding. She's obviously amused by it. But he's one point he says, like, I have a motorcycle. Vroom, vroom. Did that turn you on? Vroom, vroom. Like,
that's what he said, all right. Yep.
And he just, this little kid, I mean, he's taller than a lot of these other players, but he's still a child, and this big old woman's looking down at him like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry. That made me laugh. I thought that was very funny. All right. Moving on. So I don't understand why she stays with the team. Speaking of Kelly Leak, I understand why he clearly wants to be part of this team. He clearly wants friends. Even at the point, as you were mentioning before, where the Buttermaker, he tells him, listen, we're not winning here. You take all the fields, grab the ball as much as you can, blah, blah, blah. And it pisses off, obviously, his teammates. And so when they go to practice, they cut him out completely. Say, hey, can I practice? And say, hey, why don't you play on your own since you don't need us? And so they're very pissed at him. And that's when Buttermaker goes, okay, no, it was my idea. But he, of all the characters, his motivation makes the most sense to me, I guess. Because he obviously has, like all of them, Barry has no family. He hangs out at that field. He clearly wants someone to ask him to play. And so he acts out. He's a child. So he drives his motorcycle on the field. He gets them to tell, hey, get out of here. Because he's a child and he's acting out. But as soon as he gets on the team, notice he doesn't ride the motorcycle on the field anymore. He's suddenly part of the team. And he clearly wants to be. And they go. He even joins this guy to go to the ballet class to hassle Amanda. Why? Because these are now his friends. These are the only friends he's got.
Mm-hmm. So,
I'm sorry. So there was a question in there. So what did you think? Does that make any sense? You think he's just... Of all the characters, I find his motivation the most obvious to me. What about you?
He's the only character... Him and Amanda are the only characters that need motivation. The other ones are all there because their parents signed them up.
Yes.
So, yeah, I have to agree out of necessity.
Yeah, although the kids could quit. I mean, they do quit at one point, if you remember. And the coach says, no, nobody's quitting. Nobody's quitting.
Yeah, no, the movie's not over yet.
And so they all decide to stay. And because they do form a team and not just children, adults need friends. They need other people around them. I've talked to you about this. Men especially are very bad at being on their own.
Yep.
We get meaner. And I'm not making a generalization here, folks. This has been studies. Men are not at our best when we're on our own. We need other people. Even more than women need other people. And women able to form friendships and connections. And a man, his wife is usually his only best friend. And then that's it. If she passes away, he's on it, So, yeah.
That is the monogamy is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with monogamy if that's what you want. But the way monogamy is pushed like a drug in this culture is where codependency is a gold standard that you aspire to. Where it's the Jerry Maguire, right? You complete me. I am not a whole person without you. We do everything together, which is a just insane scenario to be in. Even in monogamy, you should have your own independent, like, friends and interests and hobbies that you pursue.
Yeah, it's healthier for you and it's healthier for your relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, so I understand him. Why do you suppose Tanner, that's the young boy's name, right, is such a foul-mouthed little bastard? Other than the script. Do not say, again, the script says so. You already said that 3
No, I mean, yes, because he's written to have Chihuahua syndrome. Like, he's the small, scrappy asshole. He wants to pick a fight with everybody because he has to. Otherwise, they're going to just roll over him.
Huh.
It's you beat up the biggest guy, the biggest bully in the schoolyard, the other bullies are going to leave you alone. So he's hoping to beat up all the bullies and get them to get off his fucking back already. And then he does. There is somebody who's smaller and weaker than him, and that kid gets picked on, and then Tanner goes and like, sticks up for him.
And gets put in the trash.
Yeah, but he's still, like, he does that.
Yes. He's willing to stick up and fight for himself. And that's what he tells the other kid. You got to stick up for yourself.
Yeah.
And the kid, I guess, sort of does at the end when he plays outfield and catches the ball. I guess that was him. I guess that's how that's supposed to.
I mean, that was him validating his worth as a human being.
I guess, yeah. I looked up, and I don't know how many sports movies you've seen. I've probably seen more than because I've just seen more.
Definitely, because I avoid them on purpose.
Oh, do you?
I have no interest in watching a sports movie. Okay. I don't like sports.
But I like movies, and if it's about sports, I'll watch it. Here's the thing I want to ask, though, and I can't... this movie was made in 1976, the same year Rocky came out. And both those films, the heroes, lose the game. He loses the boxing match, these kids lose their main game. And I tried to figure out if this is the first time that has ever happened in film, and I think this came out before Rocky. But either way, they both come in the same year. I want to know, this has ever happened before, and I can't find any evidence that this is the first time, but I also can't find any evidence that it isn't, so I don't know. But I'd be very curious, because this is very rare as someone who has seen a lot of sports movies. Usually the team wins. It is very unusual to have the team lose. And I think this is a 1976, or rather a 1970s thing. I think by the 80s and 90s, the audience or something decided, no, they got to win at the end. Because I haven't seen too many films where they lose. It's any film that I could think of, if the characters lose, it's always sometime in the 70s. I can't think of the 80s, I can't think of the 90s, and I can't think of the 2000s.
I think it was experimental. I think it was slightly innovative, but at the same time, the easy way to climax an arc is have your hero win. And this was, like, I'll give, like, the writing in this wasn't bad.
No.
Like, and the story arc was it was a solidly written story arc, even to them lose, because there was no reason this team should have won. Like, I think it would have broken your suspension of disbelief had they won, because they sucked. even as good as they became, they sucked. So they couldn't win. You couldn't let that be unless it was on a bizarre technicality, which doesn't feel like a victory.
Yeah, I just think in the era of the 70s, people were more accepting of losing. We lost the Vietnam War, the country was not as rich as it used to be, although it was still pretty wealthy, but people felt like they weren't making as much, and there was an oil crisis and blah, blah, blah. And so people were willing to see films in which they lose. By the 80s, people wanted to see, rah, rah, we win. Although I do... Cool Runnings was made later, and I think they do...
Cool Runnings! Yeah, because they crash.
Because they crash, so they do lose. But they still come out winners, because at the end, everyone's cheering them, whereas they get cheered here, but I'm not sure for what.
Well, Cool Runnings, they became the first Jamaican bobsled team to compete in the Olympics.
Yes.
Like, whether they won a medal or not...
Just being there was a victory.
Yeah, they won by being there.
Yeah.
This team couldn't claim that because it's a whole league of other Little League teams.
Yeah, but what did you think?
I mean, it was the first Little League team to be sponsored by a fucking bail bondsman.
Who we don't see. We just see they have the bail bonds, but we don't see, and we see Buttermaker trying to find sponsorship.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised he did. Because he was saying, I'm just coaching. Well, you got to get a sponsor. I'm surprised he did.
Right. And all the other teams were sponsored by like Pizza Hut and Denny's.
Yes.
And all the good sponsors were taken. So they got Bob's discount bail bonds or whatever.
But what did you think of that ending? I mean, it fits for the characters.
It fit I think that ending fit this movie.
I think it fit this movie. But I'm still curious, like, who are these people running out on the field, and why are they all happy? They're just seeing their children. I guess they're children. I mean, they're picking them up, so I assume they're related to these children they're picking up and cheering them on after they just seen them throw the trophy, their second place trophy, at the winning team, and then curse them out.
It's those kids' parents, the ones that we haven't seen the entire movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to be, right? Who else would be picking them up? But it's still weird. You've just seen your children do this, and you're like, hey, great stuff, children. I'm like, what are they cheering? You just saw your kids throw a trophy and have a tantrum. I don't know what you're cheering.
They're cheering their kids having spines.
I just thought that was really weird. I guess before the final question, obviously, the obvious question, before we get into that, what did this film tell you about the 70s, or 1976, you think? Because you weren't there. I was. I'm curious, what impression you got from that era? If any, if you could say you didn't really get anything from it.
I don't think this necessarily had to have taken place then. I feel like this movie could have been made today. Oh, and that there'd be aesthetic differences. But to your point of you think kids still talk like that today, kids still talk like that today. So if they're going to do that, like this movie could just be transplanted almost word for word into today. It doesn't tell me shit about the 70s. Other than maybe they've changed Little League rules and done better by now so that you don't have spats in the fucking local paper in the editorial section.
I think it says something about the era, but it's more the aesthetics. You're right. I mean, in terms of what actually happens in the film, a lot of it could still happen today. But aesthetically, we treated kids a lot more like adults back then. I am 100% sure if some adult was giving 11, 12-year-olds beers, he'd probably be arrested.
That part maybe not. So I guess if it had to tell, but it was illegal then.
Yeah, but no one gave a shit.
Nobody gave a shit. Okay, so I think it's a testament to the lack of camera phones. It's a testament to people's ability to get away with shit.
Yeah, because that definitely would have been, if nothing else, the kids would have put it on, if they hadn't recorded it, they would have put it on one of their blogs. Or
fucking whatever. TikTok, yeah.
Reddit, like, hey, I got a beer from my coach, and some Karen somewhere would have said, what? And that would have been into that. And she would have been legit. I shouldn't say a Karen, because she would have had good reason to, don't give 11 and 12-year-old beer. What the fuck? What do you think of Buttermaker? Is he a good guy or a bad guy? And then we'll get into the final question. I'm sorry, I said that was going to be the final, but no, I got one more.
That's hard. I mean, he's a protagonist. And he obviously learned something along, like, he learned that the real treasure is the friends you make along the way or some shit like that. Like, he had a positive character arc of giving fewer shits to giving more shits than zero. So, I think he's a good guy, but he could have been a better guy.
Way better. All right, so the final question, and the most obvious one, of course, because that's what their podcast is about. Does this film still work?
To me, it kind of boils down to those strings of fucking racial epithets. Because I don't like, and it's definitely a personal preference. And again, our criteria for what works and does not work are intensely personal and per movie.
Yeah, it bounces around a lot.
So, but yeah, there is pushback, but the pushback uses those exact same words. I'm going to say no, because we don't need that. And there's plenty of other sports movies.
Okay. For myself, and I will confess, this is pure nostalgia, I think it still works. Okay, I saw this in 1976. I've seen it since then, and of course, I've just seen it now for the podcast. I've never not enjoyed this picture, so I'm completely biased. It is 100%. I don't. If I was like you, born in 1981, I probably would go like, "Oh, what's with all the racial slurs?" But I was born in 1967, and hearing a bunch of kids say this to each other is not unusual to me.
Okay.
So none of it shocked me, and of course I'd seen a movie before. I'm used to Walter Matthau being a grumpy son of a bitch. None of it shocked me. Although, no, that's not true. The only scene that I'd forgotten that truly did shock me is when he threw the beer at her. I thought, wow, that was way too much. That was a little too strong there. Well, that acting choice, I would have probably toned that down just a bit, because otherwise I can't understand why she would stay. That's the only part really, like, kept coming back to. Why would she stay? I know she was a father figure, but still. But all that said, I still enjoyed this movie because, like you said, what we decide works and doesn't goes from film to film. It's completely indulgent and biased on our part. And this is, again, nostalgia. I'm sure if I'd been born later, I probably would think this is a bad film. But as a man in his 50s, approaching his 60s, I still enjoyed it. I got no excuse. I'm an old man. That's my own excuse. Before we started the podcast, I was telling George about how my knees hurt. So apparently, my knees hurt, and I'm more accepting of racial slurs in the movie. Even if I saw it when I was, 1976, I was, 9 years old? Oh my God. I probably didn't see it when I was 9. I probably saw it later, but I definitely saw it a couple times. And I saw the TV show. Imagine trying to make a TV show out of this.
I mean, did they keep Buttermaker? Like, was he the constant in it, or was it just like ragtag groups of rascally?
I think they tried to bring back some of the kids, although they were doing the movie, so probably weren't the same ones. I don't remember what the lineup was. I know that obviously Walter Matthau wasn't going to do a TV show. I forget who played the character. No, I don't. I mean, I don't remember the actor's name, but yeah, it was. I mean, they tried to keep the same sort of tone, but it just, how could it work?
Right.
Interesting enough, since we're discussing this, then we'll move on. But I don't know if you know this, they had a TV version of Blazing Saddles with Lou Gossett in the role as the sheriff. And they did try and use the same language as the picture.
Yeah, but didn't the movie stop short of ever actually using that language?
Huh?
Because I thought there was...
Saddles?
I thought there was a thing, like, they'd go to say it and something would like...
Oh, but they would say the word as well. You're thinking of the scene where the guy's on the roof, and he said, the sheriff's coming. And the sheriff is like, Nick, ding, and the bell goes off. I said, he's like, Nick, ding, the bell goes off so that they can't hear him. And so what do you say? Oh, you say the sheriff is near. No, doggone it, the sheriff is like, ding, a Nick, ding. But they say the full word throughout the picture. I'm surprised you forgot that. That's one of the reasons.
I just remembered that scene.
Because one of our things was like,
maybe a little too much. Yeah.
Yeah, too much. But apparently, for me, even though this picture doesn't bother me as much, I got no excuse.
Well, it's fewer of them in this picture.
That's true.
And it's more W.C. Fields, I hate everybody equally.
Well, to be fair, Buttermaker doesn't use any of those words.
No, it's the kid. It's the kid that grows up to be a modern-day Republican.
But there's only one person who does do it, and I guess the kid who replies to him, he also says it. But other than that,
and the kid that replies to him grows up to be a modern-day libertarian.
Okay, so split decision. I think it still works for completely biased reasons, and George thinks it doesn't.
For completely biased reasons.
Yeah, I guess it's all biased, right? It's a review.
Yeah.
It's all opinion anyway. So this was a Patron's Choice episode, and the poll for next month's film is already up on Patreon. The choices are The Paper Chase from 1973, With Honors from 1994, and How High from 2001.
What's the theme there, Joe?
The theme is schools. The Paper Chase is about this guy who went to school at Harvard. I believe someone from that picture won an Oscar. With Honors, someone got nominated for an Oscar, I believe, for that picture. That With Honors is also, I believe, said, they're all Harvard. It's not just college, they're all Harvard stories. Paper Chase takes place at Harvard, With Honors takes place at Harvard, and How High takes place at Harvard. Probably the most stereotypical is How... I've never actually seen How High, but it's about these two black guys who get high and then somehow get into Harvard. So I have a feeling it's probably not the most subtle picture in the world. With Honors is about this kid who goes to Harvard and he meets a homeless man, and the homeless man turns out to be a genius. Sort of like, what's his name in the Matt Damon Ben Affleck picture.
Wait a second. With Honors. Is that the one with Joe Pesci?
Yes.
Now, I may be a bum, but I'm a Harvard bum.
Yes.
Wow, I've seen that movie.
You've seen it? Okay.
I forgot what it was called.
Not unreasonable. With Honors is not a great title.
All right. Nifty.
Did you just wander in? Why did you see this movie? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
And you remembered it enough to even quote some of the dialogue.
I mean, it was a great line.
That's funny. Okay, all right.
I remember him, because it had the whole thing of him wanting to, go out into the forest and die alone like a dog.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, it had an emotional, it was a good fucking movie, I thought, when I saw it.
As I remember, I also enjoyed it, but who knows? We'll see.
But I've seen it.
You got to vote for it, and we'll tell you what we think of it now.
Yep.
Anyway, if you want to vote but are not a patron, you can fix that by becoming one at patreon.com/DTSW pod. Now, George, what's up next?
Next week, we'll be talking about a very different movie. Thomasine and Bushrod from 1974.
Very different indeed.
Very different, and we've already seen it and recorded that episode.
We did. Back to the 70s. I didn't realize I put so many 70s things on the list.
I mean, it happens.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I guess that's it for this episode. I'm Joe Dixon. Thanks for listening.
And I'm George Romacka. Thanks for listening, indeed, because if a podcast drops and there's nobody around to hear it, it's just another collection of ones and zeros that doesn't matter.
You've been listening to Does This Still Work? Produced by Joe Dixon and George Romacka. This content is CAN credentialed, which means you can report instances of harassment, abuse, or other harm on their hotline at 617-249-4255 or on their website at creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org. The hosts can be reached via social media, email, or the contact page at dtswpod.com. Be good to yourself and others, because that still works.
I'm about to join the Harlem subreddit and ask if anybody knows who's honking their horn or who they're waiting for. Can they get them to resolve that because somebody are trying to record a podcast? Because there is a Jersey City subreddit, and it is fucking active. And I'm thinking there might actually be a Harlem one that's active too.
And I can assure you, Harlem's huge. So you saying that, where? I hear honking out my window.
I know,
every other block.
but I think that's the joke, Joe.
Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, I didn't get it. And finally.
Oh, hold on a second. Did we do Kelly?
Yeah, I just did him. Oh, I don't know if you didn't say RoboCop. All day it's quiet outside. And as soon as it's time for me to record, some assholes come along. Hey, I'm here. I exist. Let me let the world know.
If I hear that horn again, I'm going to do that thing I just said I was going to do. I'm going to right now find, because I know where you live.
Yes, I know you know.
So I can say, honking their horn around 128th Street on the west side. All right, I am now in the Harlem subreddit.
Oh, brother.
All right, fuck it.
Don't get me killed.
I'm not going to get you killed. They don't know where you're at. Here's the no stupid questions subreddit. What do I do as a dad if I have a daughter needing to use a public bathroom? To stupid questions. How come in the TV show Cops, the criminals never ask why they're being filmed with a film crew? From random questions. Can you live without Walmart? Back to no stupid questions. Every adult will shit their pants at least once. Is this as common as people say? Or in other ways you could ask that, is this true? Back to stupid questions. How come we share 50% of our DNA with a parent, but 70% with a banana? And random question. What was your first memory as a child?